Hey guys, Combustion here from the Regency Corp and Brave Collective. I will be putting out a video series called Our Full Residency for all pilots. The steep learning curve in EVE Online is something most vets are familiar with, and I want to make the curve into steps so pilots have better footing. This will be a basic ratting guide showing some passive versus active ratting ships. Footage included to show visually how these things progress and feel in game. I will include useful tidbits, site choices, D-scan, bookmarking how to loot, target priority to stay safe, and in general just some knowledge I wish I had along the way. We will be starting off with the general workhorse for new pilots who start ratting, the Vexor. The full fit will be linked below. You can see the basic idea as I hover the fitting window. You will notice it has 2 active armor reps in the lows, a reactive Hardener, 2 drone damage amps. Our high slots fit 2 drone link augmentors to increase drone control ranges. Our mids include an Afterburner to allow SIG tanking, a pair of cap rechargers, and a cap battery. As we undock, we want to do a few things. Set up a drone launch flight via the drone window on screen. You can move drones into folders as you see fit to organize your drone menu. For the Vexor, I have a pre-made one called Vexor Launch. We drag the optimal 5 drone combo for the Vexor into this. 2 heavy, 2 medium, and 1 light. Remember, for drone ships it is important to maximize your DPS setup by fielding the best combo of drones up to 5 to use your bandwidth and match the drone damage type to the enemies you plan on fighting. We also want to make sure our drones are set to auto attack and focus fire. As you can see me fumble around and finally manage to get all the drones in the Vexor launch folder, I then launch that specific grouping by dragging it into space. By doing this I can get my optimal drones on field faster, and anytime they return to my ship they will be in the correct folder. Now that we are nearly ready to pick a site and get started, we want to ensure our modules will be on before we land and they are placed in appropriate slots for easy use. Now we start picking a site to run. You can see me have the probe scanner and D-scanner in a window on my bottom right hand side. I will start by clicking the site on the probe window with the D-scan hotkey to perform an aimed scan of that site. You will notice the first site shows nothing in the scan based on my setting of ship only, but when I land I notice some left drones in the site indicating someone potentially bounced early or left the site. I will then bounce to a new site after scanning again to find an empty one. Another key skill set to surviving in EVE. Keep your local chat up at all times and have the correct settings based on your alliance or corporation. For me, I have things tracked via standings, so the local chat member list will show colors depending on my standings with the pilots. I can quickly identify any threats to me in the system. Anything not blue, purple, or green is a potential enemy. My system is currently all clear, so I can safely rat. Occasionally you will see neutrals or war targets in space, and you should follow the dockup protocol in the ratting guide link below. As you can see the image, I show what different standings looks like. When anyone not friendly to us shows up, I would dock up my PvE ship, swap to a home defense ship, and patrol the system until the enemy has left or gets blown up. As needed, report neutrals to your correct intel channel or standing fleet to inform them of enemy movements. If you are going to fight back, coordinate it correctly with other residents of your system and jump into appropriate fleets or communications channels. One of the most important things in EVE, superior numbers wins most fights. When in doubt, blob the enemy out. Depending on the specific sites you run or ships, you may need to anchor or orbit specific ways to increase your SIG tank versus enemy ships. In this site, I dropped a mobile tractor unit and will select it as my orbit point. This will have me orbit a central location on the MTU, and enemy ships will spawn in different points in the site as new waves come. You may leave your drones on auto attack and focus fire to make the sight less input driven, or pick your targets to speed up waves or eliminate targets who are engaging in electronic warfare such as remote dampening, stasis webifiers, warp disruption, and other ECM. As a new bro-friendly ship, the Vexor is mainly a passive ratting style of gameplay. You will primarily land in a sight, wait for enemies to lock your ship identified by the overview showing red or yellow boxes on the enemy NPC, dropping your flight of drones, setting up an orbit, and waiting for completion of the sight via drone damage. You should be monitoring local during this type of gameplay, as well as any additional intel channels. You may have to keep an eye out for roaming gangs to give yourself time to plan ahead if they arrive in your system. I will heavily speed up the gameplay from here so you can get an idea on what it looks like. On average, Vexor run sights are anywhere from the 20 to 35 minute range depending on skills and the chosen sight. They have a payout from 10 to 22 million, and you can expect bounty payout ticks in the 8 to 12 million range on the higher end. In addition, if you choose to invest in a mobile tractor unit, you will receive anywhere from 8-20M in loot per site, excluding Shadow Serpentis Overseer spawns, which drop typically 5-10M in additional bounty payment, and the potential for rare Shadow Serpentis modules. With the MTU picking up your loot and collecting wrecks in a central spot next to it, additional income can be gained via salvaging the wrecks and selling the salvaged loot or building rigs to sell. The Vexor is a great ship to get your income started and a source of independence to branch out into other activities if you want. In the next video in the series, I will be going over the Ishtar, and eventually we will work up to more active styles of ratting with the king of subcaps, the Golem, which is a Marauder battleship class hull. It is a Tech 2 variant of the Caldari Raven hull and focuses primarily on shield, tank, and missile-based weaponry. Have fun out there everyone and fly safe. Remember, stay classy.